Welcome back to Fantastic Fantasy Fabrications. I'm Mike, and today I'm going to teach you how to take these basic wall segments and turn them into an actually modular, fully playable tower of any height. And the best part about this build is, it might be the single easiest one I've done to date. So without any further blah blah blah, let's show you how it's done. And as always, if you want to follow along with this project at home, you can find the links to the project overview down in the description. So what we're going to be focusing on building today, and the secret to turning all of your wall pieces into towering towers, are these modular building platforms. And some of the best things about these platforms is that they're, one, super easy to make. Two, they're truly modular in ways that other systems wish they were. And three, they let you have a completely playable interior for your structures. Now, because I don't plan on selling you a sky sunshine with no chance of rain, I'm going to tell you the worst thing about these. And honestly, that's going to be with the way you're going to end up using magnets. These things are going to consume more magnets than a steroid bro consumes Axe body wash. So it's a real good thing that we've been saving them by not using them on our wall pieces and tiles. Now getting started. For the center plate, I took some 1/2" XPS foam and I cut it to be just slightly over 4" by 4 inches. Also, we're going to need some classic 1" by 1" rods, and I'm going to cut those in a variety of lengths. 4 inches and 6 inches. And after we've milled out all of our foam, we can move straight to assembly. And for this project, we're going to be using hot glue. So for this next step, I'm going to work organically, taking one of my unfinished floor tiles. I'm going to name him Spaso, and I'm going to use him to get the impression depth on the tower platforms. This is going to let us change out the floor pieces and add even more modularity to the build. Okay, so now I'm going to mark out where all the magnets are going to go. And I'm going to be placing one magnet in the center of every inch around the entire perimeter. This is quite frankly a lot of magnets. And I worked around and played with a lot of different methods, but in the end I decided to go for maximum modularity. Alright, so next we're going to clean up all of our edges. And you know how I said to make our center block slightly bigger than 4 inches by 4 inches? Well, I did say that for a reason. I said that so that all of our floor tiles can perfectly and easily fit directly where they're going to in our tower platforms. But because after assembly, we're going to be left with something that's actually larger than 6 inches by 6 inches, we're going to have to go to the cleanup stage. So here I'm going to carefully shave down the sides of our tower platforms so that everything is about centered and it's perfectly 6 inches by 6 inches. And at this stage, the build is actually completed. And all we have left is the journey to beautification. A quick side note on that journey, it's not always easy. And if you don't take my word for it, you can ask any teenage girl on prom night. Luckily for us, it's not going to be that hard. I'm going to start by taking our platforms and I'm going to use the hot wire foam cutter to put the 1" grid all the way around the edge. I'll finish up the 1" grid by hand using my hot knife. Then I'm going to take a ballpoint pen, draw out my basic stone pattern, and trace that bad boy out with that same said hot knife. And the last step before we cover this in Mod Podge and get to painting is adding staple connectors to the top of your building platform. In between all the 1" grids and in the lines in the center, I'm going to add these staples so that the magnetic rails really have some grab to the tower platforms and they're not going to slide around or slip off. With all the staples added, I'll cover the whole thing thoroughly in Mod Podge. That's going to hide every staple connector and you're never going to see those bad boys. So I'm going to paint these tower platforms using my classic stone building color scheme. If you're curious about the color scheme, the full list is in the project overview, listed in the order in which it's applied. If you're curious about the techniques I use, I recommend checking out my video on fantastic floor tiles. There I cover all my airbrushing techniques and my wash creation techniques. Alright, so I wanted to take a quick moment to have a few words with all of you. When I designed the dungeon rail system, there was a couple of things I was really focusing on. The number one thing I was focusing on is I wanted true modularity. Not what's passing for modularity by some people out there. I don't even know how you call some of that stuff modular. But I also really wanted to focus on having an isometric playable view. And that means that I'm going to have low walls in the front that are going to be facing all my players and high walls in the back because I already know what's there. And I personally feel like the isometric viewpoint brings the maximum amount of life to your game without getting in the way of hands at the table, because it is a game. You might want only 2" walls, and if you do, then your building platforms honestly don't need any magnets installed on the bottom. But if you're like me and you want to have an isometric view, or you like low walls and only want to have 1" high walls, then you are going to need all those magnets. And you're also going to need to create some of these pieces here. which are just some basic blocks with the staples already installed in the top. I'm not going to show you how to make these, but I am going to show all of you how to create some non-basic ones in an upcoming video, including battery operated wall sconces, windows, and a whole lot more. I also wanted to take this moment to thank all of my amazing patrons, and a special thanks to Michael, who's pledging at the shop foreman level. So Michael, not only do you have an amazing name, but I wanted to take this moment to thank you. And if you're looking to join these heroes and help support this channel, there's a couple of ways you can go about it. The most non-intrusive way is to just follow the links in the project overview. Any of those links there that take you to Amazon will be taking you to my Amazon affiliate. There, the purchases you make will give me a small kickback. But I also encourage any of you to come join the Fantastic Factory. And the links to my Patreon will be down below. There, for just $2 a month, you get links to all my plans and design space, you get access to the Fantastic Factory, and the tiers just keep getting better from there. If you don't know where the wall pieces that we built this tower came from, go ahead and check out my basic walls video. I'll have that link down below as well. And with all that said, it's time to roll some close-ups. If you've enjoyed this video, hit like, subscribe, ring the notification bell, and until next time, keep all your fantasy fantastic.